welcome back. So this is your second instalment for postnatal yoga, and I just wanted to talk about when people say, what do I need to do yoga? I mean, in general, it would be ideal just to go out to a studio, be completely away from your day-to-day life, but such is the case that we can't do that. And I understand that when you're at home, it's really difficult to then step out of your home jobs or housework, being mum. So I like to suggest that you create a sacred space in your home. It doesn't need to be big and it doesn't need to be there all the time. It just needs to be accessible when you want to practice. So for me, I've got into the habit of just rolling out the mat and kind of flowing no matter what's going on. So if my children are there, if they're fighting, it makes it difficult. If the baby's there, it's fine. He just kind of wanders around. But then they've seen me doing this for their whole life. So in terms of yoga with a newborn, imagine you're leaving the house. You have your baby bag. So you've got your nappies, wipes, clothes, anything you need so that you can have it in that space. So I don't know about you, but I tended to have bags of changing stuff in every room. So I'd have a changing mat with cream and blah, 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 so that I wouldn't ever be rushing backwards and forwards. So if you can do that, just grab your baby bag, have your baby bag next to you, and obviously have your baby. Unless your baby is asleep in bed, in which case I just recommend you come and do some yoga on your own. Now I've got my baby Sammy. She's a dolly. I've had her for forever. And so I've got my baby's blanket. And the idea is to be able to move with your baby near you so that you're not kind of thinking, oh, what's going on? Can I hear? Can I not? If you can see your baby, you are a lot less stressed and it's a really nice vibe you can both tune into. So even if your baby's asleep and you've got your baby in the room next to you, brilliant, because even more so you don't have to worry because you can hear. So yeah, I've got a cup of coffee, so totally fine just to have a cup of tea. Sorry, I've had a crazy day. So I would suggest a pillow. I'm just going to shuffle back so you can see me. So I would suggest a pillow just to sit on, because I don't know if you practice pregnancy yoga, you'd know that I like to lift your pelvis slightly. It just kind of tilts your pelvis forward so you keep a nice long spine and it helps just to open everything up. So I would start sitting so you can see your baby. You can move around with your baby in front of you and everything else is to hand, okay? So we're just going to start gently breathing and just coming into our practice. And in terms of holding your baby while you're doing yoga, the most ideal situation is that you have your baby down without picking up for as long as possible, because once you pick up, they're not letting you put them down. We all know that, okay? So if your baby's settled and you've already fed your baby, changed your baby, and your baby's fine just to lay or in a bouncer or wherever you are so that you've kind of got that connection, you can see each other, then it's going to be a lovely practice. That being said, this is recorded. So if at any point your baby needs to feed, you're very welcome to pause or just carry on and just feel connected anyway and come back at another time. Change, whatever. This is not a you must ignore your baby, do yoga. This is a way to incorporate yoga into your daily life so you can support your baby and vice versa. So coming to seated, sitting tall, root down through those sit bones and grow tall through the crown of your head. And just, this is an idea, just bring your hand just over the top of your head, so those frizzy bits. See if you can push those frizzy bits into the middle of your hand, grow a little bit taller. Fantastic. Hands just reach outside your knees, so your palms are up, elbows relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Draw your chin down to your chest. Just release any tension on the top of your neck. You're going to breathe in through your nose. You're going to sigh the breath out through your mouth. Okay. So just slowly bring your head back up. So you're just gazing off into the distance. I'm just going to do a couple of shoulder rolls, a little bit to warm up the neck, because I know a lot of us are crouched over, really tight in our shoulders. We're going to do a little bit to kind of alleviate that pains. So you're just going to take your left ear down to your left shoulder and work on drawing your right shoulder down, down, down. Once you've got that ear down, you're going to lift the left arm up and just bring it over. You're just going to hold on to your right ear now and just draw your left down a little bit more, creating space in your neck, allowing your shoulder to melt away. Breathe in, breathe out. Release the left hand down, come back up to the center. Just drop your chin down, just shake it off. A couple of yeses, a couple of no's, and then bring yourself back up to seated. Draw your right ear down to your right shoulder and just become aware of how your body feels and how it may feel different on both sides. Okay, so drawing that ear down to the shoulder. Feel your left shoulder melt away. Feel that space. Bring the right hand up. Reach over, grab hold of your right ear and draw your ear down. Sorry, grab hold of your left ear, just to confuse you. Keep breathing. Good. And then release. Bring your gaze back up, nice and slow. Turn to the left, turn to the right, and just do it as slow as you can. Imagine your nose is moving and you're following. It's just a couple of turns. And coming back to stillness, reaching your arms up. As you exhale, we're going to twist to the left, right hand on left knee, left hand on the floor. Try and keep your chest up as high as you can and your shoulders away from each other. Inhale up to the center, exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you, twist, look over the right. We're going to just breathe fluidly as we move. So up, exhale, twist, inhale up, exhale, twist, inhale up, exhale, twist. Come back up to the center, interlace your fingers. Just going to turn your palms up to the ceiling and stretch those arms as much as you can, releasing your hands and allow your hands just to float down to the floor. Squeeze your shoulders up to your ears nice and tight, and then let them go. Everything shaked. Good, right. So we're just going to come forward so you're on your hands and knees. Now your knees don't need to be directly in line with your hips now. And if you need to have your knees on a pillow, that's completely fine. So you just want to have your hands a little bit far away from your baby because we want to come down into a puppy dog stretch. Your puppy dog stretch is a really great release on any tension in your hips and opens up through your shoulders. So we're just going to slowly start to rock your hips side to side and just get confident doing these movements, because these are the kind of things that are just going to release tension immediately. And where you've got eye contact with your baby, they'll let you do it. I know it's not as easy. I've got this doll in front of me, but they do tend to like to watch. Not for long, I admit. Give them 15 minutes maybe 35. Okay, so we're just going to stay here. Take your knees out to the edges of your mat, toes together. Sit your hips down on your heels. This is your child's pose. First of all, we're going to stretch into your hips and we're going to lower your head down to the floor. So you're going to walk your hands forward. Try and keep your hips connected with your heels. Hands forward, hands forward, hands forward. You're very welcome to give your baby a tickle. And then just bring your head down onto the floor. This is your child's pose, and this pose is open option to you at any point during the day, any point during the practice, and it's generally just to release. It stretches your spine, it takes pressure off your hips, and it stretches into your inner thighs. And it lengthens your arms and slowly starts to tone the tops of your arms and release tension in your shoulders. While you're here, bending your elbows, bring your hands to a prayer, just resting at the base of your neck, stretching those triceps. And then coming back into that child's pose, stretch the hands forward. See if you can walk those fingertips forward for me. Deep breath in, sigh the breath out. Really good. So you're going to walk your hands back to underneath your shoulders so that you can push yourself up. Great. So now your knees come back in so that they're in line. Your knees and toes are in the same line. And what you're going to do is going to walk your hands forward and draw your chest down onto the floor. Your hips stay up this time, okay? So your hips stay up, your shoulders spread. You can bring your chin to the floor or your forehead to the floor. This is quite a deep stretch, so take it slow. Keep those hips up and reach those hands forward. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly start to walk yourself back into your tabletop position now. Okay, so we've opened up through the shoulders. Slowly draw some circles with those hips. Let your belly drop as you inhale and hug it in as you exhale. Okay, so nice big circles with those hips and the other way. And it's just about having that confidence to move intuitively and know what will feel good. So then come back to stillness. We're going to do our cat-cow. So your cat-cow is literally just a lovely stretch for your lower back. So you're going to breathe in and drop your belly down and your hips come up and your chest comes forward and you look up. Then as you breathe out, you tuck your pelvis under and stretch your shoulders up to the ceiling. I'm going to do it from the other side so you can see. So, go that way. Inhale, tilt the pelvis. Can you see my lower back dips? My hips shoot up to the ceiling. Roll the shoulders, chest is open and look up. And then you're going to tilt your pelvis under. Tuck your hips in. Tuck your belly up into your spine. Stretch your shoulders as high as you can. And then again, as you inhale, drop the belly. So it's a really big movement. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again, this is something that is open to you all the time. Something that we should all do. Just getting that awareness in through our spine. Breathing in and breathing out. And then coming back into that puppy dog pose. So we're just going to stretch the shoulders out again. Walking your hands forward, forward, forward. Draw your chest down. And if you meet your baby here, if your forehead's on your baby, if you can kiss your baby's toes, even better. Or if you need to move your baby out of the way, that's also up to you. Yogi's choice. Lengthen through those shoulders, lengthen through those arms. Slowly walk your hands back. Now I'm just going to give you a little tip. Sitting on your heels, knees together. We're going to bring your elbows in line with your shoulders, so you're kind of gazing inside your elbow crease. And you're going to go out, interlace your fingers. Just draw some circles with your hands. Keep those wrists nice and loose and nourished, and then shake it off. Right, I'm just going to demonstrate from the side. This is a puppy dog with a twist. So coming back onto all fours. Okay, you're going to flip your right palm and sweep your right hand over to the left. And as you do that, bring your left hand out to the front, reach your right hand forward. So you're twisting into the upper back and keeping those hips high. And breathe here. And again, inhale. And exhale. Push down through the left hand so you can bring yourself back up. We'll do the same on the other side. I'll just swap over. So your left hand, you flip the palm, you reach your left hand over to the right. And your right hand is over your head. So you're looking over to the right, twisting, keeping those hips high, breathing in and out. One more breath in and breath out. Push down through the right hand, left hand comes back. Good. Okay. So you should feel nice and loose in your shoulders, a little bit more open through your chest. We're just going to take your hands out to the side, or in front of you even, and then almost breaststroke, hands come behind you. Interlace those fingers and roll your shoulders back. Draw your knuckles down towards your hips as you lift your chest. Draw those knuckles down, down, down. And then bring your hands out in front of you. Interlacing those fingers again. Push the knuckles away from you, stretch your shoulders. Inhale, sweep the hands behind you. And interlace, roll the shoulders, draw those knuckles down. Good. Okay, so we're going to just move it onto our lower back. So last week was a lot about pelvic floor engagement and kind of reclaiming your core. So we're going to use all of those things we learned. If you've not watched the video yet, go back and watch the video, only because if you've not got your core engaged, you can often hurt your lower back. Okay, so if what I'm explaining doesn't make sense, go back and watch the first one so you can get that awareness, breathing, strength in your core. We're not talking sit-ups, we're not talking planks, we're just talking drawing everything into the midline and hugging your belly back as much as you can. Right, so our first move is our locust. Now our locust focuses on literally your lower back and it opening up through your chest and drawing your shoulders back. So it's a good one to start with because we add on as we move. So bringing yourself down onto the mat, so you're laying on the floor with your hands flat under your shoulders. So your elbows are tucked in really tight and your hands are under your shoulders. Now you want to look down inside your thumbs, okay? So your elbows are tight and you're looking down inside your thumbs. Now the first step we're going to do is a baby cobra. Elbows tucked in, you're going to roll your shoulders, lift your palms and look up. So tuck those shoulders in nice and tight, lift the palms and look up. Point the toes and keep your feet and legs on the floor. Exhale. Release your hands down. Make a pillow with your hands. Forehead just rests on that pillow and you can wiggle your hips. I'm just going to turn my mat around so that I can show you a little bit better. So just wiggling your hips as you lay down, just resting your forehead on those knuckles in a nice pillow. Brilliant. And then when you're ready, bring your hands back to under your shoulders. Tuck those elbows in really tight. Keep looking down. So I'm looking forward just so I can see, but try to not need to look. Try just to focus on listening because I'll give really specific instructions. So this time, you're going to take your hands behind your back and reach your fingertips back towards your heels and roll your shoulders. And the action of rolling your shoulders immediately lifts your chest. So you're going to keep looking down so the neck and spine is aligned. Reach the hands back. Inhale and roll the shoulders, lift the chest. Keep your hips pushing down onto the floor. Keep your top of your feet pushing down onto the floor. Lift up until you can feel your lower back stretching here, compressing and stretching. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Again, just bring your hands into a pillow. Rest your head on your hands. This time, bend your knees. Bring your toes up towards your heel, or your toes and heels up towards your hips. And you're just going to windshield wiper your feet from side to side. So both to the right, both to the left. It's just rocking onto those hips. Breathing in and breathing out. And then coming back so that you're nice and long and your hands come back underneath your shoulders. So you've got one more option here, I'll show you. So this time, taking your hands behind your back and interlacing your fingers. As you interlace your fingers, sorry, I've got to spin around again. Interlacing your fingers, drawing the shoulder blades back, lifting the knuckles away from your hips. So keep looking down and keep those legs planted on the floor. See if you can squeeze your legs together so there's just one long leg. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Breathing in, push your belly down onto the floor, push your thighs onto the floor, roll your shoulders and lift up. And then release down. Again, make that pillow. Bring your forehead down and relax. Rock your hips, rock your shoulders. Really good. We're going to sit back into a child's pose. So hands come under your shoulders. Sit yourself up. Take your knees nice and wide. Toes together. Sit on those heels. Rock into your hips. Walk your hands forward and rest your head down. Taking a deep breath in here. And sigh the breath out. Again, deep breath in here. And sigh the breath out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Really good. Okay, bring your hands back. Just walk yourself back so that you're seated. We're going to do one more position, which is going to keep your chest open and just add a little bit of an engagement into your core and strengthen your legs. So we're going to come up slowly. So your hands are on the floor, knees are under your toes. You're going to tuck your toes, lift your knees up, a couple of inches off the floor, engaging into your pelvic floor, drawing your belly back towards your spine and sitting back towards your heels, walking your hands back to on the floor under your knees. You're going to come into a squat position. Okay, so you're going to have your knees out nice and wide and roll your shoulders and lift yourself up. Breathing in here and sighing the breath out. Then bring your hands back down onto the floor. Turn your toes so they face forward. You're going to rock forward onto your hands and then rock back onto your heels. Straighten your legs, your head's down low, looking at those knees. Softening into your knees and then slowly rolling up, coming up into a mountain pose. Really good. So, standing tall in your mountain pose, stacking those joints. You've got your ankles under your hips, hips under your shoulders, pelvis under your heart, heart under your head. Everything's in line. You can just tilt your pelvis forward slightly, almost like that Michael Jackson thrust. Softening your knees. You're going to sweep your hands back and up. Reach the arms up. Straighten the legs. Come to stand and look up at those fingers. If your baby needs some interaction, you want to just wiggle those fingers and just let them come down to the side. And come up. Keep them wiggling so that you can feel like they're included. Once more, up. And down. Good. So just roll the shoulders, open up through the chest. Bring your arms out to the side. Now we're going to give yourself a big hug. I want you to really reach your fingertips back towards your shoulder blades. So you're going to squeeze your arms across your chest and walk your hands back. Okay, so you're just stretching your shoulders as much as you can. Inhale, then exhale, opening your arms back up. Now this time, elbows are bent. We're going to bring your elbows to touch, hands to touch, and your gaze is directly inside your elbow crease. Breathing in here and breathing out. Keeping the elbows together, you're going to come up onto your left tiptoe, so lifting the left heel up off the floor. You're going to keep rooted down through the right foot. Slowly peeling the left toes off the floor until you're balancing just on your right foot and your elbows are in line with your gaze. Keep breathing and drawing your belly back, maybe flexing your left foot. Breathing in and exhale, drop it down. Open up your arms, well done. Don't worry if you fall out, it's very strange to realise how unbalanced we are after having a baby, especially where your focus was inside your elbow crease. So roll your shoulders, give yourself a shake. We'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so arms come out, bend the elbows, drawing your elbows in, hands are together, elbows high, so elbows are in line with your shoulders. Draw everything into the midline, so tuck the pelvis forward, hug your belly up into your spine, root down through the left foot, slowly peel your right heel off the floor, so coming up onto those right tiptoes, and then again peeling up onto the right top big toe. When you're ready, just lifting off just an inch, flex the right foot, keep those elbows together. Breathing in, breathing out, and release. Open the arms, shake it off. Well done. Come back down onto the floor, taking a child's pose. Toes together, sitting on those heels. Hands reach out, draw your head down onto the floor. And breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Slowly walking your hands over to the left. So keeping your head low. Walk your hands over to the left so you can stretch the right side of your body. Stretching the right side of your body as far as you can go, then maybe taking your left hand down to find your left ankle. And then walking back into the center. Now this time walking over to the right. Taking that right hand down, see if you can find your right ankle. Stretching into the side body, the whole of the left side of your body. Deep breath in and out. And then slowly finding your way back into your child's pose. Hands reach forward. And slowly bring yourself back up to sitting on your heels. We're going to bring your baby in to your practice, which is quite nice. So it's just a way of introducing certain moves you can do with your baby without even realising that you're doing something good for you. So that's why I always say sit on a pillow, just so that your hips are slightly wider. I'm just going to give you a couple of options. So if you've got your baby in front of you and you don't really want to be laying on the floor as well, a nice thing to do is just to be sitting up. So even if you're just going to do this for a minute, 2 minutes, it's more than nothing, okay? So you're going to sit up tall. I'd extend your right leg out to the side. Sorry, I can't see. So your right leg's extended out to the side and your left foot's tucked inside your right thigh. You're just going to walk your right hand down towards your right ankle. So you're just reaching on to wherever you can go, but you're going to keep your chest open. And you're going to reach your left hand up, and as you exhale, you're just going to wiggle those fingers and bring your hands down to your baby, tickling your baby. And then again, up and down. So in any case, wherever you've got your arms up, just kind of remind yourselves that they're here in your practice and just include. Arms up and down. And this is also a very good posture to do if you're feeding, whereas we kind of tend to be like this, or even if you're bottle feeding, you do always kind of crouch. But in terms of your posture, you really need to get the midsection nice and strong, because it's just going to really help to stack you up. So even if you are feeding and you're sitting up, just changing where your legs are. I mean, flexing your feet, pointing your toes, anything, just engaging into your thighs, drawing your tummy back towards your spine, lifting up through your shoulders, and just keeping this chest bit nice and open. It often doesn't feel comfortable because we're not used to it. But in terms of keeping yourself nice and relaxed and your body feeling good, this section being open, it's magic, I promise. So you can feed sitting like this, or if you've got your baby on your shoulder and you're burping, you could give yourself a little twist. You could just do a little bit of movements, whatever works for you. Okay, we'll just do the other side because we don't do anything on one side in yoga because otherwise you would end up lopsided. So I'll just give you an example of how we can twist wherever you're holding your baby. So left hand comes down to your left ankle, and it's just a case of looking up over that right shoulder. And if you're feeling like you're not worried, bringing your left hand to your baby and reaching up. But it's all completely up to you. Okay? And then we're just going to end with some relaxation and some oms. So if your baby's sleeping and happy for you to lay down, or even if it's your baby's happy for you to lay down next to them or them lay on you, I would suggest taking a 5-minute rest after this practice. So just pausing and coming back and just enjoying that stillness together and getting them into the habit of kind of tuning into your breath. But I'm going to give you a really good exercise where they can tune into your breath. So I want you to bring your baby to sit on your lap, and just the inhale and exhale of your belly, where you're mindfully breathing and you're sending that breath down to your belly, and it's big diaphragm breaths. It's just going to find a rhythm that works with your baby. So if you really mindfully inhale and expand into your belly gets moved forward, okay? So it's just kind of, it's a nice just connection, okay? So hand on baby's tummy and just supporting under baby's bum. Just want you to breathe in, sigh the breath out. And then again, breathe in. This time I want you to blubber your lips as you breathe out. Good. Breathe in. This time, your teeth clenched, your lips relaxed, we're going to buzz. Good. Babies like that, they can feel the vibration. And we're going to finish with some oms. So keeping your baby where they are. You're going to sit up nice and tall, roll those shoulders back, drop your chin down, maybe a couple of rolls of your chin, rolls of your neck. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Empty it all out. In. 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 Breathe in and breathe out. Give yourself a smile. Well done. You've given yourself a whole yoga class. Beautiful babies, beautiful practice. Hands together, hands in prayer. Even if you can bring your baby's hands together, you'll see that practice. Just fold your forehead down. Namaste.